Hello, nicey guns. I finally decided to call my subscribers nicey guns. Not nicey guns. Nicey guns is the Facebook page. Nicey gun is the gun, the nice guns. Yeah. So thank you, thank you to everyone who have subscribed. Because you guys are the reason why last week I hit my first 100 subscribers. So I'm very happy and very thankful for that. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Um, yeah, so before we go any further, let's talk about outfit. Yeah, so this yes. So this outfit is actually, this top is older than my second daughter. So I've had it for 8 years. It was one of the first items I bought in H&M. So 8 years ago, I was working for H&M. I started working for H&M. I never shopped in H&M before working there. So this was one of the first things I bought as soon as I got my staff discount. So that's why it's really special to me. So this top is like 8 to 9 years old. It's coming up to 9 years this year. So almost 9 years old. I've had this top. So it's 8.5 years old now. So in August it will be 9 years old. So I've had this top for a very long time. So I've always kept it. There were times that I was like, oh, maybe now is the time. But because it was one of the first things I bought with my discount card in H&M, so I keep it because, it's like, yeah, I don't know why I even, why there's so much sentiment in it. But yeah, it's one of those things where you just buy something for the first time in a shop. And H&M has actually played a big role in my life, because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't work there, if I didn't experience the things that I did experience there. So this was one of the first tops I bought in H&M when I started working for them. So yeah, so this is the outfit. It says, good things come in small packages. Baby, good things come in small packages, but so yeah, so this is the reason behind this outfit. And I think this outfit really suited my video for today, because it's black and it's white, and I'm talking about racism today. So it's the perfect outfit for me out of everything else in my wardrobe, because black and white. And the trousers are from Primark. Yes, I think I bought them for like £7 or £8, no more than that. And yeah, so we all have to start somewhere, right? Yeah, so whenever YouTube starts paying me, then we can think about other things. So right now, I'm going to be cooking kaldu today. Today the menu is kaldu. So I'm really excited, because I'm going to talk about a topic that affects all of us, whether you're black, whether you're white. This topic that I'm going to be bringing up is about racial prejudice and racism, and how it affects all of us in different ways of our lives. Yeah? So, but today we're cooking kaldu, and actually I just finished work. I went to work when it was still bright outside, so I've been doing really long shifts this week. So, but today I was like, it's now or never. Like I always wait for God to tell me. Like I wait for the sign for me to do a video. So I don't just come out and do videos. I wait for signs. Sometimes it's connected to my dreams. Sometimes the ideas just come pouring into my head. And this morning, well, this over the week, it's like it's coming into my head. It's been coming into my head, and I was like, you know what? I see this is like a sign. Just do this video, get it over and done with, because this is a topic that affects all of us, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Asian, whether you're brown, whether you're purple. Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you the ingredients that I'm going to be using today for our dish. So I'm making do with the little that I have, even though it's not perfect. The shoot is not going to be perfect. Oh my god, that's too bright. No, not that bright. Yes. So I'm black. Yeah. So before I went to work, I did all my prep. I've done the onions. I put a little bit of red onion there. You don't really need to have red onions for kaldu, but I put a little bit of red onions because it was in the fridge and it's been sitting there for a while, and I thought let me make use of it before throwing it away. I hate wasting food. And this is the fish. It's been already seasoned. So this got salt, sea salt, and it's got loads of lemon juice. As you can see, all of this is lemon juice. Well, not lemon juice, sorry. I use fresh lemons to season the fish, and I put some crushed peppers on it as well. If you look here, I've got some chili, red chili down there. That's the red chili. And then you have the tomatoes, you have the onions, and also you have the garlic. I always use the whole clove of garlic. I don't use one or two. I always use all of it. So this is my ingredients for this caldo. It's a very simple dish. I didn't put any vegetables there because usually the vegetable I would put there is aubergines, but I realized that I'm allergic to aubergines and it basically makes my skin flare up with spots. So I don't use aubergine anymore, but that's what I would have used if I was going to put any vegetables in there. So you have the fish all ready for me, and then yeah, so basically I'm just gonna start off, and we have some kind of spinachy thing. In Gambia we call this what do we call it again, bisab, or it's basically, this one is not bisab. We have a special leaf for it which basically tastes, it's almost the same as spinach, but it's not spinach. But because I live in England, I use this one because, well, I didn't make this one now, I made it like, well, you don't even want to know how long I've made that for. But it was a long time ago, but it was in the freezer. So this morning I took it out of the freezer. So it's as good as it was when I made it. So don't worry about any food poisoning or anything like that. But yeah, so I've prepped everything before I went to work today. And these are my ingredients. And so we're going to start cooking kaldu. It's a very simple fish dish and it's very nice and tasty. So let's get to it. We are now ready for this cooking thing. I wanted to talk about racism and racial prejudice because this is something that affects a lot of us. Well, I think it affects the whole world, because, okay, first of all, what color are my lips? Red. What color is my blood? I see red. What color is your blood? Go figure. Now, this is the messed up thing about racism, because we all hurt the same, we all bleed the same, we all experience life similarly the same, we go through our ups and downs and all of that. Yet, we have this world where some people would want to make other people's life harder than how, life is already hard. Why would you want to make somebody else's life hard because of something they have no control over? Something such as the color of their skin. That's the messed up thing about racism, is because we don't choose to be black and you don't choose to be white. And so it's so messed up when you treat someone because of the way that God makes them. And a lot of people go on to say that God, they believe in God, yet they hate something that God has created, So it's just messed up. Racism does not make any sense. It's just, it's a messed up situation. Whatever way you look at it, it's a messed up situation. We need to be able to respect each other. We need to be able to honor each other. We need to be able to be humble with each other, and we need to be able to look at a person past the color of their skin. And I will come into more of that at the end of this video. But what this video was about was, I asked myself the question: is England or the United Kingdom more racist than the United States? And my verdict is that yes. Yes. England is, I feel, is more racist because in England, racism is very, very well covered up. And when racism is very, very well covered up, it becomes very, very dangerous to everybody in the society. Not just to the person is directed at, but also to even some white people. Because I have had friends who told me, oh, my granddad used to say so many horrible things about black people But then when my cousin or when my sister um, got a mixed race baby, suddenly they stopped being racially discriminate. Uh, Suddenly they stopped discriminating against black people because now they have a grandchild or a great grandchild who is now mixed. Now this is the messed up thing. Why would you hate a race and then only for your daughter or your granddaughter to go on to lay down with a black man or a black woman for you to now accept that, okay, what I was doing was wrong? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. And the evidence I have, I've been studying for the past 3 years in university. And if you study in England, I don't know about anywhere else, but if you study in England, everything you say in your essays, everything has to be based on evidence. So I have learned to not say things without having something to back it up with. So I'm not talking out of my ass. I'm not going to give you any false information. Everything that I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be based on experience, not just from me, but from other people as well. Now, why do I say that England is more racist than the United States? The reason being, like I said before, it's very well covered. Racism in England is very well covered up. Very, very well covered up. Because look at recent events right now. Prince Harry gave up his titles to take his um, mixed race. Not even, when people say Meghan is black, Meghan's not, I don't consider her as black. She's brown. Just like my two oldest children, they're brown. They're not black, they're not white, they're brown. Do you understand? So for the fact that they went for Meghan, the press went for Meghan, the people went for Meghan, I couldn't even read, some of the comments whenever Meghan's picture was put up on Facebook, on the internet, anywhere. I could only read maybe 1 or 3 comments, and then I say don't even read the rest, because it's like it hurts. It hurts. Even though I don't know Meghan, I don't know anything about her. She doesn't know who is IC Jallo. Okay, but just seeing those comments, it just makes sense. Like, these people are now all coming out like, oh, just because the prince married someone who was half black. All of a sudden, all the racist people started crawling out of their holes, to the point where the prince actually has now given up his titles just to run away with his half black woman. Half black, I would say. She's not black. Okay, I know some white people like to say that this person is black and this person is da 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 da. No, they're not fully black. See, at the end of the day, Meghan has, her father is white, so she can't be called a black woman. But just look at the situation. Had Meghan been full black, what would the press have done to Meghan? And what would the people, the racist people in the United Kingdom say about her if she had been fully black? I wish it was me that Prince Harry married. because I would have given it to you guys. Meghan, she just went outside. I don't know, she was even wearing like pajamas. I don't know what she was wearing. She just went there like this, No, it should have been me. And you guys would have seen how I would have dealt with you racist nincompoops. Yeah? So you can see from Meghan and Prince Harry's situation that yes, England is, the United Kingdom is very racist, but we keep it on the low, and then it has to take something to trigger the situation, which is in this case Meghan and Prince Harry getting married, and then all of a sudden everything went wild. When Prince Harry was dating that South African white woman, did you hear anything nasty and things like what they say about Meghan? No, it didn't happen. But soon as he married someone who has half black in their veins, suddenly being African and being black, is a problem because it doesn't belong in the royal family. The same royal family that came from all the way from Germany. So even the royal family, they're not even English, they're Germans. Yeah? You have a German monarchy, and then you're there talking about how this person is from America, is black, and is this and is that. We need to stop that. Okay, we need to stop this racism because it gets very dangerous. For example, like when the Stephen Lawrence case, look at the Stephen Lawrence case. To this day, that case has not been fully dealt with the way it should be dealt with. Yeah, a young black man whose family came here to do what? To get a better life, and what did they end up getting? Losing their child. Yeah, and it's very close to home because the boy who actually played the Stephen Lawrence played Stephen Lawrence in the documentary is my stepson. Yeah, so my ex-husband's son played that character of the Stephen Lawrence in the documentary, which was later on nominated for one of the best documentaries in the Oscars. Listen, we don't need Oscars for the bad things that happen to us. We don't need it. We need to be celebrated just like you, just like him, just like her. We just want to be treated equally, and it's not much to ask. We're all human beings, we all hurt the same, we all bleed the same, and we all experiencing the same thing called what? Life. Okay? So this is the problem that we're having in England right now, and it's a very dangerous situation because you would see, I personally have experience where I have gone, I'm on traffic. I mean, I would like when I'm in traffic, and then a white person wants to give me way, but soon as they see my black face, they will change their mind and they will not give me way. These are subtle ways of how I've experienced racism here in England. And one of the most racist experience I actually experienced was actually from someone you would not expect it from. Because that person is supposed to be very educated, that person is supposed to be not ignorant, but obviously what they say is true. Just because you're educated does not mean you will not be ignorant. Yeah, just because you are educated does not mean you will not do stupid things. And the worst racism I have received in this country was actually from a UK judge. Yeah, a UK judge sitting on a judge's throne is the one that I've experienced racism from. Yeah, but I will come to that at the end of this video. I will come to that topic because I can't give you full details about that case because I am gagged. Here in England, when you have a court order, it can gag you and say that if you reveal some things out of your case, you will be put into prison. So I can't go into full details now. And I say now because whatever happens, that story will come out one day. And no court order can stop that. I'm not going to be staying here forever. But in the meantime, I can't talk about it. But whenever I get that chance to get out of this country, the whole world would know how racist a UK judge has been to me. Yeah? So first of all, let me put the oil in. You don't mess with ICJ and then you think a court order is going to make me stop talking. No. You will not get away with something like that. At the end of the day, you are going to pay for whatever you did to me and whoever you did it before or after me. Because when I'm done with you, you will not even wish you was white. Well, I've just put the oil in now, so just going to heat it up just a little bit. Give it some time to heat up a little bit before we put in the onions and the garlic and the tomatoes and red scotch pepper that I've just prepared and I've shown you earlier on. So yeah, so England, the difference between racism in America and racism here in England is that racism in England is done very subtly, like I said before. So when something is being done subtly, it's not very obvious, but it's there. But those are the kinds of situations that could be very dangerous because it's like you're walking into a lion's den. You don't know what is there, you just go in there and then boom, they attack. Just like how Megan has experienced racism here, you know. So the Megan situation has really opened up a lot of people's eyes to the racism. But then again, the Stephen Lawrence situation also brought to a lot of people's attention that racism is really something that is, very well covered up. And then the police didn't do what they needed to do in the Stephen Lawrence case when that boy was killed. They knew the people who done it, and for years and years, they let them get away with it. Do you understand? So that's when racism becomes dangerous, because at least in America, we're seeing it. They're recording it on the phones. They're recording it on the phones because it's something that's happening there every day. So it's kind of like expected. But when it's like done in a sly way, you look at the corporate jobs, in England, most of the corporate jobs, you will not see a black face. If you see it, one or two. But why? How many black people are graduating from university? And still, they don't get the same opportunities as their white colleagues from university. Why is that? Yeah? And then you have the police. I have experienced racism from the police personally, because when I was with my first ex-husband, he was very, very abusive towards me, and I have called the police on him twice. And I would post on this video, I'm going to post a picture of the last time he attacked me. Yeah? And the police, what did they do? Nothing. The police didn't do anything. In fact, the Metropolitan Police, invited my ex-husband to go into the police station. So he was not even arrested. The moment they know he's white, they're not even willing to go and arrest him. And then I have two other friends. These are black. And these people experience the same thing. They didn't call the police on their partners. They were having arguments with their partners, and the next door neighbors heard these arguments and then called the police and said there's noise coming from this house. And when the police came, the man was not abusive. Maybe there was some shouting and there was some throwing things around, but there was no, what I mean to say is that there was no physical abuse happening at the time. And yet the police asked this woman, "Oh, do you want us to arrest him?" The woman said no, and the police still arrested this man. Why? Because of the color of his skin. He was black. Yeah? And that's why, and that's the messed up thing. Who really is black like this? No one. Who really is white like this? If you're white like this, would you like to be white like this? You're not white. We're not black. Do you understand? We're just human beings. So, but they see color when they go into these homes where there's domestic going on. They will straight away arrest the black man, or tell the black man, "Come with us to the station straight away." My ex-husband, he got to choose his time to go to the police station. He chose the time, he chose the day, because the police told him, "We need you to come and give your side of the story." They didn't arrest him. Why didn't the Metropolitan Police arrest my ex-husband when I reported that he was being abusive to me? Why? Why didn't they arrest him, just like they go on to arrest other black men? And one of my friends actually told me that when the husband was arrested, he went to the police station, and whilst he was waiting at the police station being interrogated, the police were onto the phone to the wife, telling her, "Do you really not want to take this any further?" They were willing to put a black man in prison because, for what? Because of his color of his skin, whereas a white man was abusive, visibly abusive to me. A white man pushing me down the stairs whilst I was pregnant 6 months with his child, to the point where I went into preterm labor. And the police did not arrest him. That is the racism we are facing in England. And it's very, very disgusting. It's nasty. And I'm not just saying this because of my own personal experience. If you go to the government's own website, you will find that 3 stops and searches for every 1,000 white people compared to 29 stops and searches for every 1,000 black people. So every 3 searches in 1,000 white people compared to 29 of black people, that is a huge number. On police stop and search, I have been, do you know, even me, I have been stopped by the police before so many times, and they maybe thought that I stole the car or something, or I don't know what it is, but I have been stopped by the metro, and I'm gonna say the Metropolitan Police because I have not experienced this with where I'm living right now. Essex Police, I haven't experienced this with them. Yeah, in fact, one day I saw the police here in Essex and next to me at the traffic lights, and I put my window down and I said, "Officer, can I help you?" He said, "What?" I said, "Because you was flashing at me." He said, "No, I was not flashing at you." But I was being stopped by the Metropolitan Police so many times that even when I see the police, I get paranoid about it. Do you understand? So this is the things that we are going through here in England, and these are the things that are not on the news because nobody is getting killed very often about it. So nobody wants to talk about it. But we need to be honest and we need to talk about it. We really need to talk about these things to make sure that they don't continue happening because things need to change. And right now, last year I actually from my organization, from Girls Empowerment, we organized this conference on the UN Day for the Girl Child. And when the police arrived, you know, they came, we invited lots of people from the community, the police, social workers, all sorts of people. They came and we told them about our concerns and about how we feel. And thank God they actually listened to us because we were called again for a meeting at the Department for Work and Pension at my local council here in Essex. We went to the council and we went to the Department of Work and Pension, and we were told by the police that they're doing everything they can to tackle racism in Essex, and but by doing that they're actually going on to offer black people get the first offer for the job because they say that they realize that when black people call the police, they don't have very good experience. So in order for them to make changes, they want more black people to work in the Essex police force. And that is how you deal with racism, and that is how you show that you're willing to deal with the situation, with the problem. So I'm very proud that Essex Police has taken that step. But Metropolitan Police, the biggest police force in the United Kingdom, and yet they will go and find a man push his wife down the stairs and they will not even arrest him. They invite him to go to the police station at his own time. That is the Metropolitan Police. You guys need to fix up. You need to fix up and you need to stop racially discriminating against black people and brown people and all the people that you discriminate on because they're not white. And who is white? No one. And who are you prejudicing on? Black people. Nobody is black like this. That's why I tried to wear this t-shirt. I wore this t-shirt today to show you that nobody is black. Nobody is white. We are all humans. On the same government website, the direct government, in short for government, on the DirectGov website. So this is not something I'm making up. This is figures straight from the DirectGov website. Yeah, I do my research. Like I say, I don't come out and say anything without having a backup for it. The same DirectGov website say that black people are 9.5 times more likely to be stopped and searched as white people. That's a big figure. So that means white people only have half a chance, half. And then black people have 9.5, half white people, half. And black people have 9.5 times more likely to be, um, black people are 9.5 times more likely to be stopped and searched compared to the half of white people. That is not right, is it? That is not, those figures are not right. And so the government, thank God, I have seen what they have done in Essex. I've been invited to the Department of Work and Pensions, and we spoke. And one of the things that actually came, this was not just to employ black people as policemen, but they also have other schemes as well, where if you're black and if you're from cultural background and you want to open up a business, then the local council here from where I live, will support you to pay for that business so that they can bring more culture into the area. Now, this is a positive step, but it doesn't solve things overnight. But I really welcome this positive step that Essex has taken to deal and tackle racism in this area. And when I say in this area, let's not forget, Essex is also one of the most racist places in the United Kingdom. The reason being, I moved here like 4 years ago, and when I moved here 4 years ago, I could hardly even see black people. Even when I used to go to the supermarket, when I see black people, trust me, I used to be so happy. I used to smile at them and they would smile at me. But now we have more black people in the area. So things are changing slowly but surely. And one of the other things that me and my local council are working on, so I'm working with the Essex Council pilot team, and this team have even offered me a place to open a dance studio for free, so that I can teach families and young children in this area about African cultural dances and stuff. So this is a very positive move. And also, I'm doing it because you can't just complain about racism. You also have to find ways on how to tackle it. So I'm not just here talking about racism. I'm actually working with my local government to tackle racism. I'm not planning on living in this area for life. I want to move. This is not where I want to be, but it's where I have to be right now, because that's what God has said. And that's why I'm here. And whilst I'm here, I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to make little bits of changes, not just complain about racism, but also work towards changing something that's going to benefit this community later on. That's my plan, and I hope that, God has already, helped me, because for the local council to come to me and say, you know what, we can give you a space for a dance studio for free. The place is just like 2 minutes from my house. If I'm standing here, I can see where my dance studio is going to be. I can see my dance studio from this window. So this is where God wanted me to be. So I'm not just complaining, I'm also doing things in my community to make changes about racism, and to make changes to also maybe encourage the Metropolitan Police to take the same steps as Essex Police has done, so that they can tackle racism, so that they don't have to arrest 9.5 black people. That means only a little bit of black people don't get stopped. That's a huge number. And it's shameful that in 2020 we have these figures showing in the DirectGov website. It's very shameful for England, it's very shameful for the United Kingdom as a whole. It's not right, it's not okay, and we need to change it. Alright? The most racist person I have met and I have encountered is a UK judge. A UK judge was the most racist person I have encountered in this country. But guess what? She would not have been able to be racially discriminatory towards me if she was not held by 2 black women. She was held by 2 black women. One was from Ghana, the other one was Caribbean. I don't know where she came from. But we have that issue of Caribbeans also thinking that we Africans sold them for slavery, and so you have these few Caribbeans who are so ignorant that they will go and hurt other black people who are from Africa simply because they think that our grandfather sold them. Listen, my granddad did not sold you. My great-grandfather did not sell you. My great-grandfather's father did not sell you because he was a poor fisherman. A poor fisherman. He had nothing to do with what happened to you guys. You have to remember that the same, you're following the same Bible that these same white people use to justify slavery. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that the white person came with the Bible and told you that it's okay for you to be slave, for us to be slaves. In my country, I am Kunta Kinte's sister. Yes, Kunta Kinte comes from Janja, is it? Jufure. Kunta Kinte comes from Jufure. And he is a brother because he is from my country. So have you watched Roots? Have you seen how they were taken out of their Islamic religion and forced to be Christians? And forced to change their names? Yeah? But does that mean I must now go and hate every Christian? No. No, it doesn't mean that. Because not everybody is bad. I'm talking about being Christian and being good or bad. Right now, when I was working in H&M, I experienced another racism because I applied for a job to get promotion, and I ended up not getting it, and I was made to work very hard for it. Because when I approached the manager, I said I wanted this job. She said, prove yourself. And for 2 weeks, I did everything I could. I even worked sometimes 7 days just to prove to her that I was ready. I did everything I could. But in the end, she gave the job to somebody and she interviewed me. Can you imagine? She interviewed me for the position and then she went on to give it to someone she didn't even interview. She was Spanish. Her name was Bella. Bella, now your eyes blasted. Yes. So she went on to give the job to a girl from Vietnam because her color was lighter than mine. She didn't even interview her. So this is the racism that we suffer from, that the world does not know about. Yeah? How did I get my evidence to get the job in the end? I made sure I had a phone inside of my bra. And I went and confronted her, but not in a nasty way, not in a way I wanted to hear why I didn't get that position. So I put my phone inside of my bra. I shouldn't have to do that because of the color of my skin. I worked harder than the girl she gave it to, and I was in the job longer than the girl she gave it to. You understand? But I knew something was off, so I put the phone inside of my bra, and I went to her office. She made me wait outside. So if you listen to the recording was starting long time before she even spoke to me. But I didn't give up. I kept recording. So I recorded and I went and sit down. I said, hey Bella, I heard that this person had this job, but I asked you for the job and you said no. I said, but you gave it to this person and this person has just said that they didn't even get interviewed. You know what she told me? Oh my God, no. If anything comes up again, you will be the first person I will consider. And then I went on to ask her, did you not give it to me because I'm not working hard? I knew I work hard, but I just wanted her to admit it so I can take it to head office. Because like I said, I always deal with evidence. So I went to the head office in the end. So now we're going to put in the onions and everything else because it's ready now. Yeah? So we put the onions, the garlic, the tomatoes, and the scotch pepper. That's already been chopped. Yeah, so I went in there ready for this woman. Yeah? I went in there ready for her. And I said, Bella. And she said, no. I said, you work very hard. I can't complain about your work. You're always on time. You're always, doing your best. This is what I needed to hear. So I took those recordings armed with me. And one of my colleagues, Simi, thank you so much. She came with me to the meeting. at head office. And when I went to the head office, I sat down, and the first thing the man said is, "Oh, she can't be racially prejudiced. Maybe she didn't give it to you because you didn't work hard enough." I said, "Really?" I said, "Because I recorded her, and she said I work hard. So you tell me why I didn't get the job." And the first thing the man said to me, "English man, I hope you're not recording me now," and he laughed. That's how I deal with people. Me, I don't deal with lies. I can't lie because it's not me. That's not how I've been brought up. I've been brought up by a very, very honest man and a very honest woman. Very kind-hearted people. So I can't. I'm not as kind as them. No. You know? But I have been brought up in a way where I don't need to be a fake. And I don't need to lie to get what I want. You understand? Yeah? So I went to head office in H&M armed with a recording of my manager saying that I work hard. So she can't say I didn't give her the job because she didn't work hard as the other girl. In the end, the manager, after everything was sorted out, she offered to sit down with me to apologize. She wrote a letter which head office sent to me apologizing for what she has done. And then she said that if she could meet me, she would like to meet me so she can personally apologize. I told them I'm not fake, so I'm not going to sit with her. In the end, she had to leave the store the same time because they knew she messed up. So what did they do? They transported her to work as a store manager or whatever, area manager or whatever it was in Spain because of that thing. Because me, I see Jalo, I deal with evidence. And if you're gonna come for me, make sure you're ready. Because me, I'm always ready. I am a child of God, a favored child of God. So nobody comes at me. Even if you get away with it, I will catch you. God will catch you. Because me, in my heart, if you open it right now, there's nothing in there. No bad feelings, no nothing for nobody. Yeah? So this is how racism affects us. And then you can't say somebody is bad, and because they're bad, you have to classify the whole race as that. No. Right now, my next door neighbor here, she's Spanish. And do I think that all Spanish people are racist? No. Some of the best people I meet are Spanish. Just that one Spanish person is not going to make me classify every Spanish people as bad. Just because one Spanish person was bad to me. Yeah, just like when that judge was being racially discriminatory towards me, two black women helped her. And those two black women, one came from Ghana. Do I hate all Ghanaians because one Ghanaian person sold me out? No. Because right now, my only friend in this town, her name is Belinda. She's Ghanaian. And I will tell you, this woman, I can call her in the middle of the night and say to her, I'm on the other side of London. Can you come and pick me up from the airport? And she will leave everything, her children, and she will come and get me. So that's why it doesn't make sense that when one person is bad, you can't say because that one person is bad, the whole country or the whole race is bad. You have good and bad everywhere we go. My next door neighbor, she's Spanish. Do I discriminate against her because my manager who discriminated against me, Bella, a Spanish woman, I can't discriminate my next door neighbor. My next door neighbor, when I had my third child, she was actually the one who took me to hospital with my husband. She drove us because obviously she knew that we were gonna be at the hospital for a while. So she offered to drive us there instead of us driving ourselves to the hospital. She offered to drive us there, and this woman stayed with me from morning until evening. From the morning she we waited for hours to get my cesarean done. And then when we did the cesarean, what did she do? She made sure I was settled, everything was okay, just like a mother would do. And then she came home to do what? To cook me soup, because I was not supposed to eat something heavy. She came home and cooked me soup, 2 different types, so that I have something to eat. But do I go on to say because Bella treated me bad and she's Spanish, then every Spanish person is bad? No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah? Same as when that horrible woman, that Ghanaian woman who helped a judge racially discriminate against me. I can't say every Ghanaian person is bad because I have a Ghanaian friend who today, if I call her right now, I wish I had another phone right now and I would have tested it on right now and say, Belinda, I need this, or Belinda, I need you to come to my house, and you will see how quickly she will come here. Yeah? So you can't say people are bad, and just because that judge was racist to me does not mean that every white person is also racist. We need to be aware of that. This is the problem we have in the black community, especially. I'm speaking from experience. Yeah, I have experienced the person who actually opened and made really direct the people that actually made racist comments to me directly is actually Asian people. But do I go on to say all Asian people are bad? No. But it happens. Help if that judge did not get help from two black women who were ready to sell their soul and everything so that they can progress in their careers or whatever it was that they did it for, if they didn't sell their souls to sell a black sister out, that judge would not have been able to get to me. But she got to me because two black women, one from Ghana, one from Caribbean, I don't know exactly which part of the Caribbean, got together to help this judge to discriminate against me. Yeah? So, but I can't go on and say, racism, racism, racism. We also need to look at ourselves, black people, and realize that so many racist things are happening to us. We also have to take blame because we prejudice against each other more than a white person will discriminate against you. Like I said, I only experienced real racism from one person in this country that's white, and that came from a judge. And she would not have been able to do the things she did to me if she didn't get the help from two black women. We are the only race that don't help or support each other. Everybody else does. We are the only race that don't support each other. Why? Why? So that's why no matter how much racism I go through, I also have to understand that as much as racism is a problem, we also need to look at ourselves and say, where are we going wrong? Because if we don't change, God is not going to change our situation. Because we're ready to destroy each other the moment we get the chance to. How do we expect other races to respect us and be humble and whatever? No, it's not going to happen. If we don't stop destroying each other, we are always going to be destroyed by others. This is what we don't understand. We black people, we go for each other. We go off each other to make our own lives hell, just so that we can sell our souls. Those two black women, what did they gain from helping a judge to discriminate against me in court? What did they have? What did they have against their own race? To the point where I know that the Ghanaian was married to a white man. But is that enough excuse? I was married to a white man, but I would never support another white person to discriminate against a black person. The other one, she's from Caribbean, and I think the only reason I can think of it is that she has some kind of hatred for black people, because she was meant to actually work with me, but she didn't work with me because she was a two-faced bitch. Yes, I said it. She was a horrible, miserable cow who was like, she looked like a toothpick. Yeah, but she was not happy with herself, and she was very bitter towards me for no obvious reasons. Do you understand? But these two people are the people that actually helped somebody else be racist to me. Somebody from a different race. So we need to look at ourselves, black people, and think, where are we going wrong? If we don't unite, if we don't change our ways, we're not going to go anywhere. And then you have other black people who racially prejudice against white people that have done nothing to them. Yeah, I've got experience where my colleague complained to me that a black woman said something along the lines of, we Africans don't know this, or something like that. And then he went on to report it to the manager, and what did the management say? The management told him, oh, don't mind her, she's African, that's why. No, we can't make excuses for people who are racially prejudiced against white people as well. Because if you don't want people to be racist to you, if you prejudice against them and then you expect to be treated differently, you can't expect those things. We need to be mindful towards each other as human beings. Let's not look at the color. People like Michael Jackson came to teach us lessons. They came to teach us lessons. God has taken them. They left behind messages, but we're not listening. We're not listening, and we just keep destroying each other, black people, and then you have black people who prejudice. In my own personal experience, when I was getting married to my white husband, my father's family, nobody attended my wedding apart from my siblings from my dad's side of the family. Why is that? Because they objected to the wedding, because he was a white man. And even though we're not together now, that is not a good excuse to say why you couldn't attend my wedding and why you objected it. Why you saying I shouldn't marry a white man because he's white. This is racial prejudice. It's wrong. Racism is wrong. Racial prejudice is wrong. No matter how you look at it. You understand? And then I go on, I would never forgive those family members for that. Well, actually, I forgive them for that. I'll forgive those family members, but I also have to be very mindful. I will not be, they're not going to be like in my life, because if they hated my white husband, that means they're going to hate my daughters as well, because they came from him as well. Do you understand? So it makes no sense. And I'm just very, very lucky that my father is a very educated man and he's not ignorant. And because my parents were actually not allowed to get married because of their ethnical differences, my mom is, well, this is a funny situation. My mom and dad were not allowed to marry because they said my mom was Mandingo. Yeah? But then, looking at my mom's family history, my mom is not even Mandingo. She's Wolof. Her grandfather came from Senegal and traveled. He was a fisherman, traveled to from Senegal to Gambia. He traveled and he went and lived in a village called Gunjur. His name was Suleiman Jai. He lived in Gunjur and then he married there. He had two children, my grandfather and his brother. And my grandfather's brother kept the Njai surname. And my grandfather, because of his love for Mandingos, he decided to go with the Jata, because they used to tell him Jatanjai, so he kept the Jata. And that's how my mother became a Jata. And the fact that my dad and my mom didn't marry because she was, what, Mandingo? She's not even Mandingo if you look at her bloodline. She's just Mandingo by name. She's just Mandingo by chance. She's Mandingo because her father loved Mandingos. Not because he was Mandingo. My grandfather did not allow my mom and my uncles and aunts to even speak any language apart from Mandingo in his house, but he was originally a Wolof man. So this is the messed up thing about prejudicing against other people, because you don't even know where they come from. You don't even know where they come from. Right now, my mother's surname should have been Jai. But because her father's love for Mandingos, he changed it to Jata. So this is how messed up. We expect to be treated differently, but we don't do the same things. Do you understand? We want to be treated differently, but we don't do the same to be treated differently. Guys, so as you can see, I've now added the onions and the black pepper. This is a very simple dish, so that's why I've been talking most of the time rather than cooking, because all you need to do is basically this. So I've added the onions, the garlic, the tomatoes, and the scotch pepper in there. Yeah, and then now I'm just letting that all simmer up. And then after this, I'm just going to add just a tiny little bit of water, because the fish has loads of water in it and it will cook itself. So you need just a tiny amount of water. You need just a tiny amount of water for this. So you don't need to put too much water, because the fish already has lots of water. And also all that lemon juice that you can see inside that I already seasoned the food with. All that lemon juice is also going in as well. So there's no need for me to put too much water in there, because it's already got enough in there. So you've got the fish, you've got the crushed peppers on top, and it's bathing in lemon right now. The lemon that I just cut up and squeezed inside. So this is the caldo in the making. So my battery is flashing me that it's low. You know, it's a very long video, so because it's taking video and this phone is quite old, so it's just flashing me right now saying, so I'm gonna have to stop recording and then charge it up a bit and come back again. Now you can see that the onions are like done. The onions are done, and so I'm going to add in now that the onion. Somebody keeps interrupting me when I'm doing this video, and it's like half past 12 in the night right now because I just finished work, and so somebody is still, you know, calling me right now at this time of the night. It's absolutely out of order. So this is like the amount of water I'm putting in. It's very tiny amount of water, very small. Like I said, the fish will cook itself, so you just need just a tiny bit of water, and then just let it simmer for a bit before you put the fish in. And yeah, that's basically how you make a quick caldo. It's very nice. Don't underestimate the little ingredients that went in there. It's very tasty, especially when you add the fish in there. I'll come back in a bit. So now, as you can see, that tiny bit of water I put in there is cooking up the onions even more. So now I'm gonna add in the fish. So now the fish is in. As you can see, my battery is very low at the moment, but the message I want to send out there is that let's love each other, let's respect each other, let's honor each other, let's be humble towards each other, no matter whether the person is black or white or blue or brown. We are all the same. You know, we all have the same feelings. Let's treat each other the way that we want to be treated. So if you want to be treated good, make sure you're good to others, you know. So don't expect everything to be given to you. Don't expect respect like that. Don't just expect anything in this life without making sure that you're giving out the same thing to the universe as well. You know, there's a lot of good messages out there. There's a lot of people who have worked so hard, you know, to, you know, end slavery and to end discrimination. And so we have to honor those people's memories. You know, people like Winston Churchill, they stood up during the slavery. You know, you can't forget things like that. And there was a lot of white people who fought, you know, for black people in those days. And even though those numbers were not very high, but still it just goes to show you that, you know, there's good and bad in every community, in every race, in wherever you go, there's going to be good and bad people there. Let's learn to respect each other and love each other. God made us the way we are, and so if we really truly believe in God, then we have to love all of His creation, whether that is white, black, Chinese, Asian, whatever you want to call it. You know, we have to respect each other and love each other. That's the message I want to give you today. And I learned a lot from, you know, Michael Jackson. And some people might say, hey, but Michael Jackson, he changed his skin color. No, guys, if you want to be educated, Michael Jackson actually had vitiligo. And this condition actually, when you start treatment, it can lighten your skin. And I know this from experience because my daughter, my second daughter, she has vitiligo, and slowly she's changing into being completely, you know, not even white, but really pale, you know. So she's gone more than even white people, and she has a black mother like me. And so, you know, we can't keep judging people, and we always have to get ourselves educated. And, you know, this vitiligo is a very serious condition, and my second daughter suffers from it. And there's gonna be a time when, you know, her skin color is going to change to completely pale. And so we can't discriminate against people, and we also can't say things that we don't know nothing about. And so I learned from this great man with this great song that he has written from a very early age, and so we must respect each other, we must love each other, and treat each other well, and treat each other the way we want to be treated. Yeah, that's the message for this video, and that's why I've done this video. If I've upset anybody, I'm sorry, but I just feel like it's about time we talk openly and honestly about these things. And me, I'm not scared to speak my mind, because thank God I have parents who have not taught me to be anything but myself, so, and that's why I am sharing that with you. And God has a reason for everything, and there's a reason why I'm doing these videos. And I trust in God, because I don't just come up with these things. I ask God's guidance, and he gives me ideas, and it's translated in different things, in the way I think. I consult him in every way, in my life, on every step that I take on the day. God is always consulted, so nobody is better than anybody. We're all the same. We're all the same human race at the end of the day. You're gonna be my brother if you're black or white. You're gonna be my sister. It don't matter if you're black or white. Okay, so that's the message. Let's love each other. All right, bye. Yeah, yours is different.
Now turn it there.
Yeah, we got the same, almost the same.
Nice though, I like that. I like that. I've seen loads.
Do you like my color?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
like my color?
I like it because you look nice all over.
Wow.
You do, honestly.